G'day guys, Josh from Bigger Boys Toys here. Today I'm going to unbox our 54cc chainsaw, show you what's inside it, how to put the chain on, how to put the bar on, go through all the startup procedures and get it all unboxed and show you how it's done. Righto, let's get into it. Righto guys, so we've got our box here. Like I said, it's for our 54cc chainsaw. We're going to open up and I'm going to show you what's inside it. So with these chainsaws, there's a box inside of the box. So we're going to open up the second box. This is for protection and shipping and all those type of stuff. So we'll open up the second box and see what's inside this one. Alright, so first thing we see, you've got your instruction manual. So that's what we've got there. Alright, so we've got our fuel bottle, got our toolkit, bar gasket, bar spike, studs, all there, bar brake, chain, Oregon chain, we've got our power head for our 54cc chainsaw, bar cover, and our 20-inch Oregon bar. I'll put it the right way up. 20-inch Oregon bar. And that's it. That's what it comes with. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to attach the bar up, put the bar brake on, the log spike, the bar gasket, and show you how it's all attached up. Righto guys, so that again is we've got our power head, we've got our 20-inch Oregon bar, our 20-inch bar cover, bar brake, 20-inch Oregon chain, we've got our tool bag that's got our bar gasket, log spike, bar nuts, then our manual and a bit of parts diagram, all those type of things, and a fuel bottle. So this is all it comes with, and this is all you need. All the tools you need are in there. This tool does pretty much most of the work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap all this and I'm going to start putting it together for you. Righto guys, first things first, you should read the instruction manual before you do anything. Like I've said before, I don't have to read it because I've read it before. I've also had a hand in writing it. So read that first, get all that knowledge in your head, then we'll start putting it together. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open the tool bag here, empty it all out and see what we've got. So we've got our bar gasket, it goes between the chainsaw and the bar when you bolt it on. Got our bar nuts, so they actually hold the bar on to the saw. Got our log spike. Got our two bolts for the log spike. Got our spark key, flat blade, and the bar nut adjuster, so that's all there. Tuning screwdriver I should say. And this little tool, so this is a Torx bit screwdriver, so it does all the star-headed screws on the chainsaw, if you ever need to undo those. So alright, first things first, we're going to unwrap all this and we're going to start putting it together. So we've got our bar brake. So that's like I said, 54cc chainsaw. I'm going to put it all together now. Righto guys, first things first, we're going to put our log spike on. You have to put this on first, otherwise you won't be able to put it on once the bar's on. So you've got these two holes at the front here, you've got our log spike. There is a way to put it on, you can see there's a curve. That curve actually goes to the top, like that, and goes straight on there. So I'm going to put that on now. The little nuts that come with it. Like I've said before, it's always good practice to put things in loosely to make sure they fit, they all line up. These screws are star drive, like I said, like a Torx bit. That's where this Torx bit screwdriver comes into it. I'm going to do them up. Alright guys, so that's all nice and tight. The log spike's all in. So next we're going to put our bar gasket on, followed by our bar, chain, bar brake, then bar nuts. So let's go put the bar gasket on now. So this bar gasket helps the flow of oil so it doesn't leak out as much. So if you look, there is a way to put it. So if you put it that way, it's not gonna line up properly. So you see the lines aren't lining up, the channels. So you got to make sure this channel lines up correctly. So does the bottom channel. Still not the right way. That way's the right way. See, all the channels line up with the holes. Everything's nice and neat. So now we've got to put our bar on. So we've got our 20-inch Oregon bar here. But it's a matter of laying it on like that, and it will sit itself there. So when you're putting this chainsaw, the bar on like that, it's all not too bad. It all sits there nicely. When it's sitting on the bench like this, slides back and forth, the bar studs will hold it in place. The next thing we do, we're going to open up our chain, put our chain on. Righto guys, so now we're going to put our chain on. There is certain ways to put chains on. So as you can see, I've got the chain here. I've just pulled it out of the packet. You've got these the blades, the cutting teeth. So this cutting teeth should face forward with the saw because the saw rotates clockwise. So those little cutting teeth have got to be facing forward like that. If you do face them backwards, the chain's just not going to cut, and it's just going to be, you're going to have a hard time. So a lot of people, I have seen people make this mistake and they complain that, you know, the chain's not cutting, it's shit, it's all everything else. So always make sure those little teeth are facing forward, and the chain rotates clockwise. So it rotates this way, and then you got to put them facing forwards. So the easy way is to feel it. So you can feel that one's sharp, that it's sharp, that it's not. So that's the cutting face. So what I like to do, I like to put it on the sprocket first. Make sure it's lined up with that sprocket. The sprocket does move side to side. Don't be too alarmed, it's designed that way so the chain doesn't buck off every 5 seconds. So you're going to line up with that sprocket. All lined up. Line up with the bar. Your new chain might have a few kinks in it. Don't be too worried. Once the chainsaw's run around a couple of times, it's going to stretch it out, it's going to pull the kinks out. So when you first start a new chain, you may have to adjust it once or twice, but once it's all stretched and ready to go, that's all good. So that's the chain on. So next we're going to put our bar brake on and our tension the chain. So you've got these two little holes here in the bar. They're actually for the chain tensioner, and the tensioner screw moves the bar back and forth, which then tensions the chain. At the moment I've pulled it to like not a bad tension, so I'm going to adjust the bar tension to that level, slip the bar brake on, then adjust it out from there. So when you're fitting the bar brake, make sure the bar brake's not on, so always click it back, because if it is on, like that, so this little ring here will not fit over your clutch drum and you'll just have troubles fitting it. So make sure it's not clicked in, push it back, slide it on like that. So I'm looking over the top of it, trying to line up this little screw here. So this is the bar tensioner. So that moves back and forth with the screw on the front here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line it up. So as you can see, I'll show you. It's moving back and forth, moving backwards at the moment. The more I move that screw. So that's how you adjust the bar and the chain. So I'm going to line it up and put it all on and adjust the chain for you. So that's all lined up in the hole. As you can see, it just slips straight in. With chainsaws, there's two different locations that bar adjuster can be. You can have it on the side bar adjuster, or you can have a front bar adjuster in here. With this particular saw, it's on the side, which I prefer. I know on our 52cc chainsaw, it's on the front, so you just have to get a screwdriver in the front here and adjust it that way, rather than in the side and adjusting it that way. So like I said, I've lined it all up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to loosely put the bar nuts on. I'm not going to put them tight, just so I can adjust the chain. So when you're adjusting the chain, always have the bar nuts loose. Otherwise, you have a chance of stripping that bolt that adjusts the bar. So I'm going to put these on loosely. It's all lined up. I'm just going to put them on so it doesn't slip out, the bar adjuster. So like I said, this tool is one of your favourite tools for this saw. So you've got that one that fits the spark plug, got that one that fits the bar nuts, and you've got this one to adjust the chain. So you've got this one here, the small one. So that's tight there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back it off another half a turn so it's loose. I'm only putting it on to hold it in place. I'm going to do the same for the back one. So like I said, that's tight there, so we're backing it off another turn, just so it's loose. Righto guys, now we're adjusting the chain. What I like to do, you hold the front of the bar, lift it up, so you got that little bit of movement, hold it up, you got the little bar tensioner in here, and just screw it out until the chain's tight. Make sure that bottom chain sits in the channel correctly. As you can see, it's not quite in there correctly. Just make sure it's sitting in there. Here's a little lever. All good. So that's sitting in there now. So we're just going to adjust it up. Not overly tight. We're not going to have it so tight that you can't move it. So that's probably right there. Tighten up that front bar nut. So that's probably a little bit too tight. But because it is a new chain, it will stretch and you will need to tension it again. So once you're first running in once or twice after that, you'll notice it will get loose. Don't be too alarmed, that's just the chain stretching, bedding into place, getting all ready to use pretty much. So we've tightened up that front one, make sure it is nice and tight. Go on to the back one, tighten that up. And that's it. Righto guys, so that's the bar chain, bar brake, bar gasket, log spike, all fit up. That's all you need to do with these chainsaws. After you put fuel in it and oil in it, it's ready to go. With the fuel, I'm going to show you how to mix up the fuel. We recommend 25:1 for the first 1 or 2 tanks, just to make sure everything's all good. Then you can lean it out to, you know, your 40:1s and stuff like that. With the bar oil, any bar and chain oil works fine, and you just put that on the other side. So if you turn it around, you've got your fuel one here, and you've got your bar and chain oil in here. So that feeds oil straight onto the bar when you're cutting. It's needed. And then you've got your fuel here, which is, you know, also needed. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to mix it up with the bottle that's provided. I'm going to show you the ratios and how much you should put in it, and what, like, you know, the type of oil you need. So guys, now we're mixing our fuel. I've put the chainsaw at the back. It's here. So this is the 2-stroke oil I use. So it's Penrite. It's just normal 2-stroke oil. It's nothing special. With this bottle, it's actually made quite easy. As you can see on this side, it says 25:1, just on there. Then it's got a 10 and a 5, and on the bottle it's got a 10 and a 5. If you flip the bottle over, it says 50:1, 10:5, 10:5. So what that means is you fill the oil up to there, squeeze it into the bottle, then you got to fill the fuel up to there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do that. So these bottles have little caps on the top. So these little caps just pop out. Sometimes they can be pains in the ass to get out, but they do come out. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the oil up to the 10, because we're running at 25:1. Then I'm going to fill the fuel up to 10, and I'm going to push the oil straight into the fuel tank. So I'm going to get my funnel, we're going to pour it in there. Right guys, as you can see, I've put my fuel in up to the 10. I've got my oil up into the 10. What you can do now, you turn it upside down, let the oil to mix with the fuel. Turn it around a couple of times like this. Make sure it's all mixed in. Shake it around. I've put my caps back on as well as the inserts because it helps it seal. Shake it around a bit more. So you've got nothing left in this little sideways container. See, I've still got fuel and oil mixed in there. Got to make sure you get it all out. And that's it, guys. So that's 25:1 fuel mixed up with all the bottle that's provided. If you can mix it yourself in another bottle, the average ratio is about 200 ml to 5 litres. I use a 5 litre canister here. You know, 10 litres is 400 ml to 10 litres, but I don't think you'd be mixing up 10 litres for your chainsaw for a day out. That's a lot of fuel to use. So that's it. That's how you mix up the fuel. We're going to chuck it in there. We'll chuck some bar oil in there. Then we're good to go. Alright guys, and that's all she wrote. So we've put our bar on, our chain on, bar brake, log spike, bar gasket. We've mixed up our fuel at 25:1, so that's all good to go straight in. We've put our bar oil in. The saw's ready to be used. So like I said, the first couple of uses you think the chain will go loose quickly. That's just because it's got a bit of stretch in it. After you tighten up once or twice, you'll be good to go. Always remember, make sure you are using mixed fuel. Make sure it's fresh fuel. Don't use some old fuel you've had sitting around for weeks. We only use 98 here, but we recommend 95 and above. So 95, 98. Don't recommend E10 or 91. Otherwise, you know, it goes old too quickly. It's got a 2-week shelf life, and you know, it can wreck the saws. So this is ready to go, ready to be put into commission, ready to use. Yeah. Thanks for watching.